This week on the Droids, we're talking about anticipation for Mando. Here, it's arrived. You've actually got a chance to see it on Disney Plus. We're going to watch it later today. Hopefully, you're listening to this in the morning before you see the episode. Mando Season 2 has arrived. And High Republic, we've seen a little bit more about who the villains will be in the High Republic. Some great sketches, as well as their names. We'll talk about all that and oh so much more this week on the Droids. Welcome back to the Droid You're Looking For, a Star Wars podcast. Alongside Chris and Ryan, I am Mike. And guys, I had my world shattered during the rewatch of The Mandalorian. In episode 8,
let's go.
The Scout Troopers.
Now we're talking about season 1. We have not seen season 2 yet.
Unless,
you listener may have.
Unless you think the droids are so popular that they send us screeners, in which case,
yes.
Keep thinking that.
We did break into the top 30 of iTunes Star Wars podcast
rankings.
Like that. So,
hey.
I mean, I think when you're in the top 30, you start to get some special stuff, right?
And
watch it. I think that if Celebration happened this year, we would have been, I don't want to say a headliner, but definitely on the main stage.
And you know what? When you're in the top 30 of Star Wars podcasts on podcast app, Apple Podcast, you do get special stuff. And that's those very nice reviews from our listeners. So thank you very much for anyone that's ever written a review on our page. It's very nice.
And speaking of those reviews, make sure you leave a review for those playthroughs of Jedi Fallen Order on YouTube that Ryan's been doing. We got to make sure we've got wonderful listeners who are thrilled about those playthroughs. And if you haven't checked them out, give them a look.
And next year we'll be doing a signing at Celebration. We'll be in the booth on the opposite end of Rebel Force Radio's Lando puppet.
Well, to get back to why my world was shattered, even though I haven't watched season 2 yet, we're getting there. We're going to watch that later today. We'll have another episode, of course, up right away for a breakdown of the first episode of season 2. But my world was shattered when I realized that my new folk hero, who's really dictated the course of my life in the last 2 months and my future, Mr. Ted Lasso, punched Baby Yoda.
Oh, wow.
Ted Lasso.
And that is canon. That is canon.
Canonical.
Both Star Wars and Ted Lasso canon.
So Ted Lasso...
The Lassoverse involves the child.
Lasso is in the suit, is what we're saying.
Right? Yes. Ted Lasso. He's
Ted
decided
Lasso,
to take
protagonist of a show that everyone tells you to watch and no one does.
Hang on.
It's phenomenal.
These 2 of the 3 guys that have watched Ted Lasso here.
Yes, highly based on Mike and my brother's recommendation. Double reco.
Well, thank you for undercutting my recommendation by bringing your brother into this.
Props for Chris. That's it.
But
if I knew that Chris's brother liked it, I would have watched it.
1/6 scale Millennium Falcon in the basement. That was it.
We can't continue until Ryan watches Ted Lasso.
That's
so
true.
we'll
Yeah.
sit here.
Right,
hold
we're
on.
gonna
All
sit
right,
here.
so we'll head back. Hold on. And we'll put the cut in here. What a program, guys. Wow.
I think we made a sound during
pilot
the cut in.
that puts the newsroom and Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip to shame.
That's interesting.
Two of the best pilots. Those and Cheers, and now Ted Lasso.
Hey.
On Apple TV Plus.
Hey, Cliff Clavin. He's an
I
Empire Strikes
couldn't believe how scary it was. I wasn't first off, didn't know Rupert Grint was in it. Didn't know M. Night Shyamalan had anything to do with it.
Wow.
Apple TV Plus, man, Ted Lasso threw me for a loop. That doll, crazy.
It'd be great if all of their series crossed over. Like they have to promote the other series for Apple TV Plus. They're like, why are you animated and singing at me?
Netflix does a weird thing where like all the comedians have to tell like one Netflix joke. It's very strange.
I think they did do that with.
Is that true?
If it has to be true because every comedian on Netflix tells a Netflix joke.
I didn't. I mean, this is Mandalorian adjacent, I suppose. I've never seen any of Bill Burr's stand-up specials, but I imagine it's something like, "What's with this Netflix? This Netflix? What are you watching this Netflix for?" Something like that.
That's it.
Kids with their Netflix.
Why don't you go have a Sam's? Get a Sam.
My wife's always watching Netflix. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a good impression.
Thank you.
So you did a run through, Mike. You watched.
I did. I watched all of season 1 again. And
how long is that?
It was
about 40 minutes, right?
Yeah, about 40 and up. Get a fly through. But I think what rewatching again was, quite pleasant and made me feel like we're hard on Mr. Jon Favreau. And I got to say, it's really nice to have something like this right now. And especially, I think we said this a year ago when season 1 came around, to have new Star Wars to enjoy, to pontificate, to break down in detail as we are about to do over these next 8 weeks. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Do you guys hear that?
Oh, is that a coin hitting a microphone?
The sound of plated gold hitting a microphone.
There it is.
It's the sound of a tiny little food truck.
Wow.
Hitting a microphone.
Is that true? You got it? You got it in hand.
I got my chef coin in hand, baby.
You're holding it during every pod.
I'm holding it all the time.
Don't let that thing out of your hand. I agree, Mike. I think it does feel great to have some Star Wars to look forward to, especially the holiday seasons are coming up. I think Lord knows we all need some kind of reprieve for something nice, and I think the Star Wars is always that for many people, myself included. So I'm super excited. I had a shower thought this morning, and I promise you it won't be gross. But
I think you mean you thought of taking a shower this morning.
Exactly. But I didn't do it. Instead, I thought about Star Wars, and I was just thinking with the prequels and with kind of like when George Lucas originally created Star Wars, they were still like trying to figure out some of like the sci-fi bits. Like they were kind of inventing new sci-fi, and even in the prequels, I think they were still to a degree inventing like, oh, here's I think that's one thing we kind of lost in the sequel trilogy by them kind of taking a little bit of a retro approach. Was they were less focused on figuring out the sci-fi stuff because over the course of 30 years, it just had been done so much. And I think it's kind of fun for Mando a little bit I feel like every now and then they dip into those moments where they're like, oh, they're still kind of figuring out some new sci-fi things like jetpacks and rocket pack. Like they're inventing like, this is just how these things work. Like, I think we missed a little bit of that for the last kind of decade of Star Wars.
I see what you mean. I think part of that was almost, and I'm not piling on JJ here, but like The Force Awakens really didn't have that element to it.
Sure.
Like and Last Jedi didn't maybe either, but it was like kicked off the new sequels with that.
Yeah, I think it's kind of neat that Mando is still kind of like it feels like it's scraping a little bit now to say like it has a little more breathing room to kind of find these concepts and try different things out.
Well, Chris, I think you touched on probably one of the things that I'm most looking forward to is that we all need a distraction, as you're talking about, and what's going to happen in the next week, I think is going to overshadow what's going on with Mando. But to have some moments in our brain to think about Mando and go into a Mandalorian discussion is going to be very well needed. Mm-hmm. And I am very happy that this is happening right now, though depending on how things turn out next week, I don't know how I'm going to be able to watch episode 2 if things are challenging, but I'll get there. Are you
talking about who wins The Voice?
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
No, Masked Singer.
Team Gwen, Team Blank.
Just as we were talking, I looked up to see if any of Jon Favreau's coins are on eBay.
Ooh.
Not a one.
Oh, darn it.
Well, I mean, that's sacrilege.
I mean, I was about to jump.
You can get an autographed picture of him from the breakup for $25, though.
Hey, Ryan, if I give you my credit card, can you get that going?
I find that a fascinating choice, being that he mostly is silent in the background as Jennifer Aniston yells at Vince Vaughn in that movie.
He does have one really funny scene in a bar, though. I'll legitimately say this. This is an actual praise of Jon Favreau.
Wow. Is
that he has a scene in a bar where he's saying that Vince Vaughn shouldn't tell him anything. That's very funny.
Okay.
It's my favorite thing Jon Favreau's ever done.
All right.
I mean, I
Besides
have
The
to say
Mandalorian.
that my favorite thing is The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I do. There,
I
it's just
know
like
it's really good. It is. It is.
I'm
It
happy-
is.
I'm happy
it's
it
got
exists.
it's got
Yeah.
issues. It's got and I think in my first run through it, I spent a lot more time focusing on what it was not, and
Right.
more this time focusing on
Yeah.
what it is and just enjoying it. And I think, Ryan, you had that approach as you started a rewatch of The Rise of Skywalker today, and that
You
faded
see this?
quickly.
The Mandalorian. You seen this stuff? My wife. Oh man, kids.
Is that
Kids
is,
these days.
is
Watch
that
The
him? Is that
Mandalorian.
him
Remember
telling?
that Mandalorian
Is
as
that
a kid?
him telling his family that he got the part in the Mandalorian?
Yeah.
When he comes back
Yeah.
home.
Mike, I see what you're getting at. I did watch The Rise of Skywalker today. And I'll tell you guys what. If it's rainy out and you're having a little bit of a slow day after work, and
What
and
hours
you,
would those
you
be?
throw on The Rise of Skywalker, a lot of things about that movie still suck. And
Yeah.
a lot of things about that movie are totally fine,
So
but a lot of them still really suck.
one
And that was my experience today.
one
you.
fine thing we talked about was Lando's driver. I think
That
that's,
driver that goes, okay.
that's great.
Babu Frick, still great.
Yep.
Kerry Russell is Zuri Bliss. Love it. Almost all of the character choices, not a fan. That Wedge cameo, nope. Can't do it. There's a lot wrong with the movie. And that's my second opinion.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again on this podcast. I have a poster of The Rise of Skywalker that I bought 3 months before the movie came out because
Mike.
it completed a set
Sure.
by Eric Tan. I am going to, as I frame it, cover Rise of Skywalker with Duel of Fates. Like, I'm going to get
Oh,
a
I
piece
like-
of paper
I like
and
that.
tell the person framing it
You should
to
print
put that in.
out the
I
script
will.
and put
I
it
will
over.
say this honestly. I didn't dislike it this time as much as I did
Sure.
the first time. So it's possible that if I keep watching it and I keep deluding myself,
It'll still
that
Well,
eventually
yeah.
I'll think it's pretty good.
Let me ask, when was the last time you watched it before this time, Ryan?
I think the last time I saw it in completion was theaters. When it came out digitally, I bought it and I watched like the first half and I got annoyed.
Okay. Because I think that we are all in a different mental state than when we saw it in the theater with the pandemic.
another
So
thing.
we're much more willing to be forgiving to
Yeah.
horrible entertainment.
It's like what
Mike,
like,
that's the
yeah,
ultimate.
so it's like episode
reach
9
around.
wasn't what I wanted it to
Yeah.
be. The world is ending.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great. Ryan, whatever you're thinking right now, it's just because the state of the world.
Well, yeah, I mean, at the end of 2019, we were like, oh, 2019's been really tough. And now this with the Rise of Skywalker.
Can you imagine if it came out this year?
If I knew, guys, I would have never left the theater.
That would have been it.
We
Roll it
would-
again.
If I knew that we were all just standing huddled over a Zoom, that it would be the last time. I would, although it wasn't. We did meet together after that.
Yeah.
We had a live pod
Yeah.
where I was getting over being sick, but not the sick that we're all
Yeah.
worried about now.
Yeah.
Let me ask.
Yeah, I would have
Do
never
you-
left the theater. I would have cherished every moment and said this was the greatest film ever made.
This is it.
If this movie was slated, as it should have been delayed, we all know it should have been delayed. JJ had 18 months to make the movie. If they would have put it in May of 2020 and it got delayed and we're sitting here with it likely sitting around until 2022 before it comes out, do you think the movie would be any better?
Right?
Like, would they have made changes?
Would they have had that used the time and made changes? I mean, I think they would have made changes. They would have done different edit for
Yeah.
sure.
I
But
think.
they probably wouldn't be able to go back and reshoot that much.
Well, we had the volume now.
Well, I think that would be a dramatic contrast to some scenes. You'd be like, well, this looks weird compared
And
to
to be
the
fair,
others.
they had the volume then.
That's true.
This is true. This is true.
But I'm more wondering. I don't think it would have been a drastically different film, but I do think we would have reacted to it differently.
Yeah.
Oh, we would have been so over the moon about watching a Star Wars
I
movie.
think they also would have refined it. I think
Because remember how Tenet came out and everyone went to see it and was saying how great it was.
yeah. I think they probably would have refined it a little more, and we probably would have got some more fan sub in there as well.
Can you believe that? I don't want to make this the thoughts on the actions of Warner Brothers, but can you believe that Tenet is not out digitally yet?
No.
Is that baffling to you?
It's wild.
As it is to me?
What did it actually? What was the date that it actually came out?
I think
September
it was
like
August
5th.
27th.
I think it's still in theaters, Ryan. I think it's the only movie in
I
theaters.
understand that, but like no one's talking about it
I was
anymore.
just joking.
It might be time to shoot it out on iTunes. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I'm pretty sure Hocus Pocus has been challenging Tenet for box office over the last month. I'm not joking about it.
No,
Through
you're
like
right.
drive-in box office, drive-through.
I mean, the War with
actual
Grandpa
theaters,
did
too.
better
wow.
with Tenet, I believe, last weekend.
Wow,
Well, because all of the AMC theaters are open now,
like
pretty
full
much
on open.
nationally.
Wow.
Yeah. With the exception of maybe like states like California where
Yeah.
they've refused to let them open, but
Yeah.
most
Yeah,
of them are open.
So this previous weekend's box office, two movies I've never heard of: The Honest Thief and The Empty Man.
Oh yeah, Empty Man was the one I don't know anything about it, but Disney thought it was so bad that they dumped it in theaters during the pandemic.
Jesus.
The War with Grandpa was number 2, and Tenet was number 4.
Wow. The War
With The Nightmare
Grandpa.
Before Christmas in Chase behind it. And then Hocus Pocus, and then Monsters, Inc.,
Oh my god.
The Addams Family. Wow. There was also a Children of the Corn remake that was released in theaters this weekend, and they didn't tell anyone.
I'm very excited for like a year from now when we get to see all these movies.
Yeah, like when we all finally go see New Mutants.
Yeah. Just the ones that are released on like straight to video. Those will be out on video in like a month though. Most of those ones you just named.
Yeah,
Actually, the exciting thing would be is like think about what will happen. I mean, they'll still probably have to spread them out, especially with Disney owning so much.
Mm-hmm.
But I would think like, what if every weekend just had a new insane like it was like Black Widow.
I mean,
followed by
that's how Disney can win the race here. I think that's like Disney has the power and the ability to do that.
well, yeah,
Bob
but
Iger sitting
they'll
in a room going, "This is how we win."
As soon as they realize they can't do it in theaters, they're going to switch over to the streaming.
no, but they're going to hold those movies for theaters.
You
They
think?
will. Yeah, because I
We'll
think
see, man.
We said that. We said
gonna
that
wait
8
for
months
the
ago.
but they're going to wait for the vaccine. They're prioritizing streaming overall, but they're thinking these movies that they've already made and they've already spent a budget on that they need to make more from what they put in the theater.
Because they
They're
need
going to
that
wait.
Avatar park.
Yeah.
We should say in this, because we are talking about this, and Mike, you brought up what's going on this week. To everyone out there, it's a very difficult time for everybody. We hope that you're, from the Droids, I'm saying this sincerely, we hope that you're staying safe and staying healthy. And, you know, this is a tough thing. And the Mandalorian release is a good thing for people. It's a nice thing for us to talk about. But I don't know. I just wanted to put that message out there from the Droids that it's like it's been an especially tough
Yes.
week in the midst of everything, which has been a tough year. And you know,
We hope
there's a
listening.
possibility we're heading into a tougher week.
We hope listening to this lifts everyone's spirits, and obviously we're talking about frivolous things on top of something very serious.
Oh, yeah.
Serious, and yeah, absolutely, Ryan. I think you could speak for all
Well,
of us in that regard, and we do.
We're here
we
to
hope
talk
everyone.
about Star Wars and these
Yeah.
fun things like
Yeah,
movies and stuff,
exactly.
because
Yeah,
like as you can see, we're not only talking about Star Wars because it's like we want to talk about this stuff because we need this. Everybody needs this.
yeah.
Everybody needs the droids.
Wow, I like that. That's a good. That's a good sales pitch. Can we run
The
some
empty
ads?
map.
Can we
Trail
run
of
some-
a missing girl. An ex-cop becomes across a secretive group attempting to summon a terrifying supernatural entity. That doesn't sound bad to me. See, even that doesn't sound bad to me. The Empty Man, number 2 at the box office.
I
Good
like
for
it.
them. They would have never been number 2 at the box office.
Wait, number 2 and made how much? 850,000?
$850.
Close. Hold on. Let me see what the. Excuse me. Number 3, and they made 1.3 million.
Really?
The War with Grandpa doing great.
What is
1.9.
that?
De
War with
Niro.
Grandpa has Robert De Niro in it.
Of course.
That's not a joke. Isn't that wild? Upset
He
that
did
has
do The Intern.
Wait, hold on.
Honey
Upset that he
Grandpa.
is
Well, he did
to
the-
share the room he loves with
What-
his grandfather. Peter decides to declare war in an attempt to get it back.
Is this a sequel to Dirty Grandpa?
No,
Same
because that would be
cast,
the
though,
war,
right?
that would be the war with Dirty Grandpa.
Oh, right. That's
that
the
would be
sequel.
Dawn of the Dirty Grandpa and then
Yeah,
War
yeah.
of the Dirty Grandpa.
28 Dirty Grandpas later.
Honest Thief is a Liam Neeson vehicle.
Oh.
He's still
No.
getting work?
Yeah, it looks like, like one of his take-in Run All Night things. I did the press junket for Run All Night. Isn't that wild?
That is
I met Liam Neeson. I was in the same room as him, Ed Harris, and Liam Neeson's famously large shirts.
Did he give you a coin? Is that true?
He gave me a coin that said, "My name is Liam Neeson, and I famously have a large anatomical thing."
A particular.
I'll tell you this:
skills.
Ed Harris, scary to be around.
I would
intense.
imagine.
I interviewed Common. He's as cool as you'd think.
Boy, Chris, I didn't know we were on the name
I like
dropping
this.
pod.
This is
Boring as you'd imagine.
This is dinner for three right here. I like this.
Yeah. When I was making Rudy, I met Vince. You guys see this?
I
Run All Night?
I love when
you guys seen Run All Night?
I love when a website like uncovers a Dinner for Five interview. It's like, you won't believe what Mark Hamill said about Star Wars. It's like, he said that 20 years ago.
Yeah. And also, that's like best case scenario when they dig up an interview from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You'll never believe what so and so said about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Well, to bring it back to the Mandalorian, and to bring it back to hopefully some uplifting thoughts in this dark time, what are you most excited about Mando season 2, guys? What's really amping you up to watch new episodes? What's the biggest thing you're looking forward to?
I'm gonna let my friend who's here answer this for me.
Oh boy.
That's right. Baby Yoda said, "Ahsoka Tano, baby."
Oh wow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He agrees. I don't know how to turn it off.
Are you most excited about the story continuing for Ahsoka, the performance of Rosario Dawson of the character?
Yeah.
What is the best part about Ahsoka?
So I will be excited about the continuing of the story, though I think if we all go in expecting that, we may be underwhelmed. I have a feeling this may be like a cameo kind of thing.
I have a feeling as well. Yeah.
So first and foremost, not because it's Rosario Dawson, I'm not being like creepy, but because it's like we've only seen this character animated. I'm very excited to just like see her.
Yeah.
Like I'm very curious how they're going to do it, what it'll look like.
It'll be the first...
In the same way that I like when I remember when I was a kid, like when they made the X-Men movie, I was like, what are they going to look like? Like, what's that going to look like in real life? And I'm very curious what Ahsoka's going to look like in real life. I guess I could look up a really good cosplay, but
will this be the first translation of a Clone Wars character into a real life scenario? Other than pre-established characters like, obviously, like Anakin.
Right, of course. You mean that someone who originated in a cartoon and then...
we got
like background things
in Rogue One. We got one of the bounty hunters, right? Or one of the...
Did we?
I think so. The guy with the mask on his face.
You're gonna have to be more specific.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
I'll find this out.
But are you sure about that? It might be a character that they animated after they saw early cuts of Rogue One.
No, I think he was in Clone Wars.
Okay.
Oh, we got Saw
look it
Gerrera.
up. That's
Saw
true.
Gerrera did Saw Gerrera originate in the cartoons? I thought he originated in Rogue One. And
he originated.
Oh no, he originated in the Clone Wars.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So Saw Gerrera. Yeah, I was gonna.
He's the first.
But I don't think he was voiced by Forrest Whitaker until he was Forrest Whitaker in Rebels. Like he was voiced by somebody else, I believe, earlier.
Okay.
Interesting.
But that's a little bit easier because I think that like we've seen because I apologize, this might just be terrible on my part, but Ahsoka's a Twi'lek, right?
No,
she's not.
She's not. Ahsoka is.
But she has very similar.
She has like the tendrils.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll look it up.
I apologize to you Ahsoka fans out there that I made that mistake.
Apologize to Twi'leks.
Well, I will apologize to the Twi'leks as well.
There's
a lot of them.
She's a Togruta.
Okay.
The Togruta as they grow, they have their facial features and tendrils like change slightly. So that's why she has like different ones. In Twi'leks, they just grow normal.
Similar to the Twi'leks though, in terms of when I've seen them translated to a human playing them, and we saw that in this last season in episode 6, the Bill Burr episode. It doesn't always look great. And I don't think that episode represented it horribly, but it's just the way there's tendrils, as you say. I like they just sometimes if they're not done particularly well, they look fake and it looks odd.
That's part of that.
There is a Togruta on the Jedi Council, I believe, if not several.
Okay.
Well, yeah, okay.
But yeah, I mean, it depends on how they do it. It's like one of those things where it's like Marvel has made it in a way that now characters that get translated from comics and cartoons, they're just like, let's make them look like them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As opposed to the old thing where it'd be like, let's just put them in like black leather.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm confident that, I don't know, The Mandalorian seems to have its head on straight. I'm confident they'll pull it off.
I think if Fellini's there, I think he is not going to let his like prized character, like he's not going to disrespect the character. I don't think.
That dude like cares.
I think it's sacred territory. So I think he's not gonna release
That's
it unless
very true.
if it's done well.
That's a very good point. Chris, tell us about what you're most excited about.
I'm most excited about, and I don't know how they'll work it in or what they'll do, but just a wild prediction. And I feel like Mando's going to be this kind of show where each season there's like going to be a set piece reveal, and whether that's in the first episode or the last episode, I don't know. Obviously, Ahsoka, I think we might get a little bit of Ezra and Ahsoka. Like, there might be an episode where Mando helps them out doing something, that'll be a lot of fun. I like that. And
I think, wouldn't you be surprised if that was the case? Because they'd have to do a whole episode about how they found Ezra.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that could be huge. Like, it could be Ahsoka saying, I'm looking for someone, and Mando kind of being confused.
And then Sabine would be in it
cool
as well.
If, like, we're more privy to it than he is.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I like that idea where you don't actually see Ezra.
Yeah.
And she's looking for him.
Or exactly. Oh, yeah. You might just catch her on the journey with Sabine. The thing I'm looking forward to most is there's little rumblings, whispers in the wind, of Ewan trying on some robes. I don't know how they'd fit it in or what they would do.
I thought that was a screen test.
This is a real hot and fresh kind of thing.
It could be a screen test. It could be a screen test, but I would love to see a little Ewan in this next season.
Wait. This is after Return of the Jedi.
I know. Well, he's appeared before. He's appeared he's literally one of the last things we see in Return of the Jedi.
Oh, so what you're saying is maybe we see like an old hologram the way that they
exactly.
replay, or the way that like in the actual episode 9 Duel of Fates where he hears an old hologram of the Emperor.
Yes.
I mean, if Ahsoka's in it, she could tell a flashback story and we go back and there's Hayden and Ewan.
There you go.
Yeah.
Give Hayden a shot. I want to see Hayden in one of these things.
That would be great. That would also be great.
I don't. I know.
Come on, Mike. Believe in something.
I don't.
We'll get there.
I guess if he had a real director who could help him.
Yeah, he's been good in things.
Hey.
Not that George wasn't a real director. I mean, he's very good in Shattered Glass.
Spoiler alert. Little Italy takes place in Toronto. The movie that he's in. Okay. It's not the Little Italy you're thinking about.
But so you're most excited about the possibility of some cameos in the show.
Yes, I think the cameos got me. I like the main story. I mean, I think it's going to be they've got a great premise. We've got to get to the package to whoever's home it is, and that's Baby Yoda. I think that's going to drive this kind of Hulk style episodic TV show. That's perfect. So I'm perfectly content with all that. I love that. Give me some special cameos. Give me like little hints of I want like a Cypher Diaz type mystery where there's never going to be an answer. Show me something weird.
That's fun. I like that idea.
Yeah.
As we've talked about often on the pod, when Star Wars is weird, it can be at its best.
Exactly.
Yeah. What about you, Mike?
Yeah.
Well, Chris, you can finish your
sentence. I was going to say something that fits in, but you don't know the answer to. It makes sense, but it has no answer.
I feel like that could be what Timothy Oliphant is. You know, he's there. He's got the Boba Fett armor. No one can explain how he has it. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I am very much... I don't know why I'm so specific about this. I'm very much looking forward to a character seeing Baby Yoda and saying, like, referencing Yoda in the show.
Oh.
Not necessarily calling the child Baby Yoda, but like if Ahsoka interacts...
I mean, she'd be the one.
she would be the one to be. She knows Yoda. She remembers Yoda. Like her reaction to Yoda, or to the child, and a connection to a force-wielding Yoda species child, that would be really monumental.
Wow. I mean, that's...
And maybe...
Yeah.
Maybe they save that for later. But I
really
feel like
hope
as
that
they
Ahsoka's
go,
like in it.
Yeah.
I understand
Like
that she's
in
probably not. She's probably like in half an episode or whatever. But I would love it if she was like in the show. And like not just because Ahsoka's a great character, which she is. And like I really love that character. And like I don't even have, like, I haven't finished the Clone Wars, so like I could like cash in my fan card, I suppose, here. Like it's like I love her just with like the little exposure that I've had to her as a character. I know that like she's a character that means a tremendous amount to a lot of people, and that's very exciting too, for the fandom. But so beyond that, just like everything. Name a thing that hasn't been made better by Rosario Dawson's presence in it.
It's true.
Like it's just, I want her to be in the show.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
great.
I want that. I want that too, and I want it to be more than a Cara Dune role. You know, that was 3 episodes,
not
and really she really didn't have a whole lot in it. I would love that, and I want to see what Rosario Dawson. I mean, if they are bringing her in, she may have a small role in this, but you know she will have a bigger live action role in something else.
Sure.
They're not bringing in Rosario Dawson to do a nice wave and hi, I'm Ahsoka, bye.
Yeah, it's not a one shot.
I think it's let's introduce live action Ahsoka and then let's figure out what we do with it.
To it. Yeah. No, I think, Mike, that's got me excited. I'm now excited for that as well. I think as a character who knows Yoda better than most of the characters we spent the most amount of time with, aside from Obi-Wan Kenobi, I mean, I think that's phenomenal. And that also, like, just, it really ties in the importance of the Clone Wars over the last couple decades, like, how important a show that is in the place of Star Wars now.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, and I think it's also interesting because, you know, Queel in the last season said, this is not a genetically engineered creature. Huh. He made it clear that this is not a clone of Yoda. And I wonder whether or not they might have Ahsoka believe that it is a clone, especially because of the cloner patch from Kamino on the Imperial guy who took in the child in, episode 3.
Could you imagine if they reference Sifo Dyas? Imagine if they do it, like if they close that loop? This was the work of Sifo Dyas.
Yes.
Wait, but correct me if I'm wrong. Sifo Dyas is Sheev, right?
Oh, wait.
I don't
think
wasn't
so.
that what was implied?
That's true.
No.
Wasn't that what was implied?
No.
No, Sifo Dyas is just like an unanswered question, I think.
He's a Jedi. He's a Jedi. I thought he was a Jedi that went there and went missing.
Yeah, I thought it was Sheev pretending to be a Jedi and then went back to being Sheev.
Mike, if you've cracked this code, you've answered so many questions in my life.
Ryan's like, he didn't answer this.
No, Sifo Dyas is a different character. He has appeared in animated stuff.
Okay. Yeah. All right, fair enough.
I would love.
He appeared. Wait, hold on. He's a character in the Clone Wars. He's mentioned in the Clone Wars. Hold on.
There we go.
And then he appears in as hologram in a flashback.
They just won't let us
in the Clone Wars. We really need to watch all of the Clone Wars.
Well,
It appears in a flashback to Yoda. So Sifo Dyas is a real Jedi.
He placed the order for the troops.
Well, that's why I thought it was Sheev. That's why.
Thought it was Sheev because you were like, surely this can't just be something this big can't be throwaway in a script like this.
If anything came out of the Rise of Skywalker, it's that we now refer to the Emperor as Sheev, and I love that.
That came from the Rise of Skywalker?
No, I mean
they don't call him Sheev in that.
No. Just our musings. Like the only reason we know his name is Sheev is because we were obsessed with the fact that he came back oddly.
And they're from the prequels.
Yeah. But they don't call him Sheev in the prequels, do they?
To me, it's a matter of disrespect.
Exactly. Like the only reason I know that is because I wikied the Emperor.
Well, I felt like it was a trading card that I had. Said,
you're privy.
Chancellor Sheev Palpatine at the time. I do feel like I've probably set off some listeners for my lack of knowledge of Ahsoka's species, as well as now making a mistake, Cypher Diaz, I shall head down into my own Sarlacc pit of pit.
And just for you guys, it's Sifo Diaz.
Oh, see, I said Cypher, like a
Sifo
code.
Diaz.
Sifo.
Isn't that
I
the
always
Matrix
say Sifo.
character?
I always go Sifo. Like I'm hedging my bets.
Oh, like you're saying it like Bill Burr.
You guys see this? Sifo Diaz. Kids don't have Sifo Diaz.
I thought you were
he
talking
turned
about
into like my uncle at the end. Sifo Diaz.
Joey Pants in Matrix. He's Cypher, right?
No.
He is. Joey Pantoliano. You know this guy?
You've got a certain cast of characters on lock, Ryan. That's great.
And Bill Burr is one of them.
No, I just mean a similar voice, the high, the high questioning. Very good. Wow.
Anything else that we're looking forward to? I mean, I'm certainly excited to see more of what they do with the volume, and maybe part of that is also me being like, we saw that early trailer where it was like, wow, that's clearly the volume. I don't want to be like belabor it and spend too much time focusing on it, but I think I'm excited about just what worlds they continue to create using the volume. So that'll be really fun.
So what do we know when was this wrap filming? This was wrap filming before
March.
Okay.
March 5th.
So I mean,
Kathleen said it was like
chinny chin chin.
This could perhaps be like the highest production value, like completest vision of a TV show that we've seen all year. Like I feel like this is going to be very high caliber television, which I'm super excited for that. Like I think it's going to be.
I agree with the high caliber television. I disagree with the first statement.
What's that?
Because most television we're watching was in production before the pandemic.
I know, but I just mean, but I'm just saying, like this show has a budget that's probably 10 times most shows.
I guess so.
I mean, like this is gonna be kind of an event television for us at least. That's all.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think it's
got a high budget.
It's the last event television for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's not. I mean, it's not like the Game of Thrones prequel is coming out anytime soon.
Right. That's kind of what my point was. Is that it's the last big show that we've got that's like was fully fleshed out. So I'm very excited in that regards to get something of this caliber to come out.
Had to be a big show, didn't ya? That was Billy Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm
from Long Island, so it's in my blood.
Hey, Ryan, we're always in a New York state of mind here.
Hey, baby.
He's still doing shows at MSG, right?
He's been doing He's been keeping up his residency at MSG. Retired firefighters and construction workers from Long Island have been seeing him every night, taking the LIRR in and then drunkenly screaming on it on the way home. If there's any listeners that are from that area, they know exactly what I'm talking about. We've all been on an LIRR train when the Billy Show let out.
I love it. I'm excited.
That was basically a joke for my wife and no one else.
Hey, Borat, good impression. Guys,
I'm also excited for the purchases I'm going to make because I'm going to be buying my first Baby Yoda during this season. I'm sure.
I
haven't bought it yet.
I got my eyes on a Lego Baby Yoda, which might keep me up till 3 a.m. tonight. So we'll see.
Wait, you have it, or you're waiting for it?
I'm waiting for it because my. Oh, there it is.
One does not purchase a Baby Yoda. One rescues a Baby Yoda.
I love it. Fair. I love it.
You are as to this child the father now because of your signet.
That's right. I almost tripped on a banana peel in the apartment the other day, and I grabbed Baby Yoda on my way down, and he broke my fall. So now I have a signet of a banana peel. I didn't know that he was my ally at the time.
Well, we are all excited. Of course, follow us everywhere on social. Droid Pod on Twitter, on Instagram, the Droids Podcast on Facebook. Remember, check out that playthrough Jedi Fallen Order. Ryan's on YouTube, Droids Pod. And email us, droidspod@gmail.com. We want to hear your thoughts on Mando Season 2. Predictions, even predictions after you watch Episode 1. Let us know what you think is going to happen this season. We want to hear from you. And, of course, rate and review us on iTunes. We appreciate everyone who has done that. That is a massive tip of the cat to those of you out there who've given us some reviews. We really, really appreciate it. It keeps us going here on the pod.
It means a ton, so thank you so much.
It does mean a lot. Doesn't mean a lot.
Yeah.
Go vote.
And go vote, but vote for the right person. I don't want to just give a PSA about voting like everyone else.
I'm with you.
Listen, we're not.
We're Star Wars fans. Yeah, we know.
We're not being celebrities about this.
No, we know what the evil empire is.
Yeah,
you know what the evil empire is. You know not to vote for him. He's orange. Stay away from him.
You know what? I'll say it, guys. Use your conscience. Do not vote for Donald Trump. Just don't do it. Do not vote for Donald Trump.
Ryan, listenership split in half. No.
Is this legal? Am I allowed to give voting advice?
I think if you're listening to our podcast, you understand. You know what an evil empire is.
Mike said his whole computer froze. We hope we can salvage this episode. Anyway, until next time, this has been The Droids You're Looking For, a Star Wars podcast.
What they throw? Annie? Boring conversation anyway.
We may have just lost the episode.
We may have lost this whole episode, but we can release it